talking about this. By the way, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, yes, we are in the house again.
We got the legendary Kareem Campbell here, my buddy. I get to talk to you. Haven't seen you in a few weeks, really.
Man,
You've
it's
been
been a
running around,
minute.
bro.
Mr. Rob Cahill. It's been
Yeah.
a while. It's been a while. You know, that's $100 every time. All right. Man, it's been good. Everything has been good. Just work and hustle. How you been doing, though?
Man, we've been moving around too, from the city to the island. And right now, we're out in the Texas Hill Country at the cabin that we have out here on the canyon with the artist Kip the Great, our buddy Kip the Great. Shout out to him.
Yes, sir.
We're laying low, man, because this has been election week, and I've been looking out for Civil War 2.0, and I'm just trying to be out of the way, bro. I'm trying to be out of the way.
Hey,
Me,
I'm
wife,
out
and
of the
dog.
way, but I ain't too far. So, but if you come my way, I got some things for you.
You're prepared to defend and stand your ground, huh?
Man,
All right.
stand.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to get out of the way, man, and hope that democracy's immune system works well enough to expose, to eradicate this orange COVID of the soul that America has had, kind of working for the last few years. So let's get rid of that. Man, there's some touchy people out there this morning, so we better be careful how we talk about it. I got the fire burning behind me to
I
sort of
see.
signify
You're on fire.
the
You're
chaos.
on fire.
The chaos and the fire of this country. It is on fire. But in the meantime, I've noticed, like, man, you're all over the place. I haven't seen you in a few weeks. You've been running around, and when you're doing that, I know you're busy making moves. So what's
Man,
up?
I've
Where you
been
been?
doing good. Been on just the hustle and grind. You know what I mean? It's like pretty much, after the video game that came out, I've been chasing this wood for City Stars. So we've been trying to get that cracking. And
It's
then,
one of the strange things about the pandemic is that it's actually the first time ever. I think there's been more of a demand than ever for skateboarding and other outdoor activities, right?
man,
So the
it's so
price of
insane.
wood, yeah, the
Yeah,
supply and demand
it
thing.
takes like 3 months just to get wood right now. It's like, I'm even saying boost up my price. You can add an extra $3 on it. I mean, they like
Right,
we overwhelmed.
right. Right. Well, it's been a time like no other, and we've been springing into action at Four Down,
Yeah.
because normally, what we are a skateboarding organization and a skateboarding charity and a skateboarding facility, but because it's really hard to make skaters socially distance and follow the COVID, compliance. We haven't been able to open so much for skating, but of course, we've been opening up to help with food rescue and redistribution in a time during the pandemic where a lot of people are starving, and it's a tough time for people,
Yeah.
period. They didn't expect to be without groceries. And we've been feeding a lot of people with the help of the Food Justice Coalition and the Harvest Project. So shout out to them as well. So any rate, thanks for letting me plug that a
I
bit.
see you had I don't know if it was Pilates and yoga and Billy Goats and I missed it. I was in LA, but I was like, I don't remember
Yeah.
all of this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's what I do at my skate park. Well, first of all, we make sure that Crum has his Dickie's vert ramp, right? Dickie's worked with us to build
Yeah, I
the
seen it,
Dickie's vert
man.
ramp.
It's
So he's
massive.
back to skating in his proper element. And I'm hoping that our first guest, Tony Hawk, comes out. I'm hoping that guys like Rune and Bucky and other friends that are in his peer group start coming out. But in the meantime, dude, we did a Day of the Dead thing. A lot of the people that we work with, a lot of groups that we work with are primarily Latino, and they celebrated their culture, and it was really cool. And we rescue food, and then we turn around and give it out
Give
to
it
the
back.
people.
Yeah.
And what's not good enough for the people, there's a food hierarchy, right? So we give that to the farmers for animals. So for instance, we had goats out at the skate park that were actually eating the secondary level of food. And then the third level of food, of course, becomes compost, because we don't waste anything, right? We try to be fully sustainable and not waste. So we're just trying to show the people how to literally turn trash. This is food that was headed for the landfill, like whole truckloads. If we don't capture it, again, when I say we, I mean the Food Justice Coalition. There's a group that we work with that includes several others. But if we don't, mean we as a people, if we don't recognize that there's absolutely no reason to go hungry, especially in America at this point, we're throwing away more food than we could possibly eat. And the irony is you have people that, again, usually coinciding with things that having to do with the poverty line and things like that, you end up having food deserts, which amount to people basically lot of times being overweight but malnourished, man, and that's not good for your health, right? I mean, that's not good for your physical, mental, or emotional health. So all these things are connected, and we're just trying to do what we can do. Again, we're turning trash into treasure with the help of nothing but volunteers and no money, man.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it's good though.
Thanks.
It's like we've been getting a lot of volunteers down there though. That's what I mean.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, at a time like right now that things have been so divided heading into this election and everything else, what we love is that there's a community of communities coming together across all walks of life, all denominations, everything that you can imagine. And it's just good people coming together to help each other. It's waste not, want not, right? And we could all agree upon that. So at a time like this, that there's so much division, we just thought, what can we do that's the most unifying thing? And as you know, I mean, think about this. Anybody's grandma or mama, whoever, what they love you, what do? They want to feed you, right? For there's you know what I mean? So it's just it's a thing for healing all around. I think socially we can heal by eating together. And then obviously physically, mentally, we need good fuel. We need good nutrients. So, you know, 4 Down always has the elements of skate, music, art, and food. And just like with skateboarding, you always want to do things, you know, better, bigger, further, and faster. You just take those skate mentalities and push it towards everything that we do. And in this moment, because of the pandemic, a lot of that's boiled down to food. So thank you for your help with that. And thanks to
I think
Harvest.
It's amazing. I got to come down there and get some because, you know, all this running around, I'm getting a little, got to get my weight back up. Nah,
man, you're looking good. You're looking good. You got to fly. You got to soar. But I know you've been flying around. I know you're everywhere from like Mexico, Cali, back and forth quite a bit. And you've been cutting some deals.
Things have been closing. Everything has been closing.
And it was funny, you rascal, because you were so quiet about it. I know you were making moves and you were being coy about it. And in the meantime, you know, from the Ghetto Birds perspective, we were kind of asking the fans, you know, what do you guys want to talk about, right? Because we want to be responsive and as interactive as possible. I know you even have the idea of actually having some of the fans with the better comments actually come on and join us on some Zoom.
And host us with, you know.
It'll be fun. But in the meantime, like when we put it out there, I mean, I knew people would want to talk about action, but I didn't know it was going to be like almost half the comments. And what was so crazy is that our following wanted to talk about that. Meanwhile, you were actually working on that. And you rascal, you weren't saying anything about it. Look at that face. Look at you smiling right now. You're such a sneaky rascal. So, I mean, what's up with action, dude? Holy
man, it's good. It's good. You know, I mean, I had to basically get a lot of the, you know, the black and white paperwork done. You know what I mean? And we're back. We're not even gonna say we're gone. You know, we just had a little bad hiccup with, you know, these little dirty rats at Circa. You know what I mean? Roll and Marcus. You know. But at the end of the day, they couldn't contain it. It was like, you know, they try to do sneaky stuff, you know what I mean? Trademarking my brand, but at the end of the day,
right.
If you ain't had me, you got nothing. You know, they even tried to get some of the writers, but, you know, it was like a lot of them, you know, didn't even go. And some of them I told, get you a little bit of check, but I'm still going to shut it down.
Right, right. So you're referring to roughly probably 7 or 8 years ago, whenever it was. When whoever that was, which I don't know them, you're referring to people I think they had to do with Circa. Who tried to basically steal the brand Action and run it without you though. So it was a bastard child brand. It did, you know, it wasn't claimed by daddy. You know
I mean, they did it smart because we were talking for months and months, and then they kept playing the disappearing act and like, oh yeah, we're gonna be getting back, you know, everything is good. And then it was kind of funny because I was talking with him and Royal, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, because having to pay for trademarks, you know, it costs. It's not cheap. So I was like, yeah, you know, I got to dish out another $25,000 to secure these trademarks. And mind you, this, I had already been keeping them up and secure for like, you know, a couple years. And he was like, oh, don't worry about that. We got that, you know, we'll get everything straight, you know, It's not, you know, you still own it. Basically not having the complete knowledge of trademarking. And I let it lapse. And then next thing you know, like I get a call and then it's like, did you hear that Circa's trying to backdoor, you know, have pending trademarks for your Action brand? And then that was it, you know what I mean? The snakes came out, you know what I mean? I jumped out the grass, you know, And I let them know, shit,
Right.
I'm gonna burn the grass down. And that's what happened. So now this is
But
the new growth, and we in it. We here.
When the grass is cut, the snakes will show.
Yeah, yeah.
I got you. I got you. So now, but you know what? That did cost you some time. I mean, you think about that. For a brand to come and go like that, it's got to go completely dead. That's going to take like a certain amount of time, like a generational amount of time. And I think that was probably 7 or 8 years ago. So here you are now. The time is right for there to be that regrowth. You are there. Daddy is home, so to
Yeah,
speak. Right.
yeah.
Right. So you can
I'm
claim
home.
the child. You
Yeah.
claim the child this time. This is full claim, and you're with it. Right.
Yep.
So even though you were sneaky about it, you didn't let anybody know, that a baby was on its way.
I was bringing it home from the nursery, just come
Right.
on.
But it's a very smart thing to do, and I think it's something that you probably learned to do, and other wise businessmen learn to do, is make your moves in the quiet, make your moves while you're lonely as much as you can, and stay quiet so you don't experience resistance along the way, right? And you can have some clarity and make your move. So you were doing that. In the meantime, our following was wanting to know about Axion, and they didn't know you were bringing it back. And then I see this photo by Atiba with you there with that, and with your mask on too, by the way. Yeah. Thank you, by the way, for being a good leader when it comes to this COVID situation, because it is a real thing. It's not fake news. Sorry to offend all the little sensitive souls out there about that. But anyway, you were masked up, bam, with the actions, because people were hitting me like, hey, is this action for real? Is it for real? And I was going, I don't know. The rascal's being quiet, and I'm not asking questions till I find. And then there you showed up.
I was just more or less like, I was like, let me make sure that this is all correct. You know what I mean? Make sure that the team and everybody is 100. On the management side, that I'm partnered with, and I mean, everything is lovely. So it's like, then I was able to pull the trigger. You know what I mean? Like I do always. I go back to the family. So that's why I went back to Atiba. Like, hey, you used to shoot bunch for us. I was like, can you sneak this in? And he was just like, really? It's going down? I'm like, it's going down.
Well, it's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad to see the smile on your face, and I'm glad to know that Action's back with Daddy, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about it for a second, though, because we do know the business is quite complicated. It takes more than just you as a super mascot out here waving the flag. I mean, it takes an administrative team. It takes a production team, right? It takes infrastructure, logistics. It takes marketing. It takes graphics. Do you feel like you have a good team with you right now?
Oh, yeah,
on that side, the business side.
My upper management, you know what I mean, who I deal with, is pretty much, we're real tight, and we have our positions. And you know what I mean, we will always overlap because, we will, two heads is better than one. But for the most part, everyone's, focused. So it's like, for me, I'm on, besides owner, definitely locked in, but designing, making sure the squad's correct, making sure all the product and everything is 100. Like, I'm really taking it back in those days when it was like I'm spending 18, 19 hours a day, barely sleeping, just to make sure that everything is 110. So
so what I was hoping to hear was that your talents, you have a lot of talents, but you excel in certain areas, and I was hoping that you were going to get to wear those hats and focus on those areas where you really do. You provide an element that no one else can provide. Because, for instance, I know that, on the design side, the whole time I've ever known you, you're always drawing shoes. You've always been drawing shoes. It's like something that's in your mind, and it's something that you do. You're a shoe designer. Like that's something that you do. On the other hand, too, I know you're like sort of a Pied Piper. Like you're a man of the people, and you go around. You got a little smoke coming out of your pipe. It's not, but anyway,
little cho-cho.
Little Newport, little zoot zoot. But nevertheless, you're so good at recruiting and picking out just all-star teams and cultivating, that side of it. So I know that from the skatehead side, they're going to want to know, what's the squad going to look like? And I saw just the other day,
I gave you one.
Nick Tucker, man, that was fun to see.
No one expected it.
That was exciting.
Yeah, no one expected. I mean, everyone kind of already was hitting me up in different ways, and they were just like, oh, from cats I used to mess with, new cats, cats that, is up and coming.
Right.
And I was just like, you know, I pretty much said, you know, I was going to keep it just like how I first started Action with me, Guy, and Gino. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so my main focus was like, hey, we were all diverse.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm like, you know, I'm like, who would nobody ever think, but at the same time will be the perfect pick, you know, especially with him coming out the gate, you know what I mean? And I was like, you know, I'll be on everything. I know everyone's movement. And it was just like, I was like, Nick is the one, you know what I mean? Nobody would expect it. He's such a beast,
Right.
you know what I mean? He's a wolf, like, you know, so it was like,
Dude, yeah.
make a shock value, you know what I mean? So it was dope,
Right.
you know what I mean? Because everybody kind of thought I would get somebody that's like a friend or someone, you know what I mean? Like my direct contact. And I was like, this is business, you know what I mean?
You went out to the market and found the talent that you wanted to represent.
Yeah.
I think that's a great first round draft pick.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the Olympics. I mean, it's more to come. It's more to come. I'm just gonna deliver them.
But you're gonna try to keep this somewhat close knit, right? You're not just
gonna
come out
it's
with
gonna
like
be
40
tight.
kids on this thing, right? I mean, you're gonna come out with a
it's gonna be a tight squad like how it is. Everybody's very direct. We pretty much, you know what I mean? Like we deal with each other, you know what I mean? And that's kind of like how I want it to where it's like at the end of the day, even if I'm not around, everyone's in tune and everyone's locked in. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not gonna be that thing of like, oh, we got this person and we got it, you know, because I mean it's gonna be no kissing ass. We just gonna basically I want everybody to represent and be themselves. You know what I mean? If you love the product, wear the product, and at the same time, give me all the input so we could deliver what you want and what you think the people want. You know what I mean?
Nice. So you're going to hit that sweet spot where you just have just enough people, just the right people, and that communication and that relationship can grow and create something that's special.
I mean, I'm still going to be giving out product like always and flowing and all of that stuff like that because I'm still want to have you coming up, you know what I mean, to be able to say like, oh man, he deserves that, and at the same time, I can help push him, you know what I mean? You know, but pretty much for the squad that we're going to be actually putting it out there, like who's locked in, it's going to be small and tight, you know what I mean? And it's going to be people you might not think, and some people you might think. But I guarantee it's going to be.
Whenever I come over to the house, I hope there's a couple exercise 12s laying around. Hey, but speaking of that, because I noticed that, okay, so one thing I was wondering, and we really haven't had a chance to talk about any of this. I noticed that you guys brought back what was the Gamma, what you call Gamma, Guy Mariano, the Genesis shoe, right? And it kind of has that Laker look to me, which of course, hey, Lakers. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the way basically I could tell you the understanding of kind of how that was developed. It was more or less like the point. I know on my end, people will always ask, like, what is the craziest shoe that you ever designed for Action? You know what I mean? And I'm like, there's so many different types, you know what I mean? But I know like when we did the Gamma, Guy's shoe, you know what I mean? It was so many different, you know, revolutionary parts on it and different ways of doing things that no one else was doing. So it was like, you know, it's always been one of my, you know, number one, like design, aesthetic, functionality, like shoes that I always say, like, man, when Guy gave me the elements and we put it together, you know, I was like, and everybody always asks, you know what I mean? If you listen to what people were saying, I mean, you know, that was number one, you know, my shoe, the KC 2000 or the Kick. It's so weird. Like they ask so many different ones because I've had a lot more shoes, but I mean, it's just.
But you're working on new designs for yourself. That's what I'm getting at.
Oh yeah, by the way, too, watch this.
What do we got? Show us some stuff. Oh, trust Tiago.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because he sent it to me and I was just like, oh wow. And you know, nobody's been knowing what I've been doing, you know what I mean? So it's just
so just coincidentally, while you were bringing back the Genesis, Tiago was coming out with his shoe, and it looks like oh my God, dude, look at that.
And it's so insane. It's like I don't have two pairs to skate one, but man, and it's just so funny because it's like you got this, and then I'm gonna show you this baby right here.
Oh wow! All right.
Yeah, man.
So Tiago sent you his New Balance joint, which is a tribute almost to something. He didn't even know you were bringing that back at the same time. So it's sort of like this synchronicity, right? Wow! Look at the 3D box. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And those sold out already, right? I mean, that
Yeah,
was a
they
limited
blew
run.
out in like 48 hours. We're gonna give you all like a little back. Keep
Okay.
you always tuned. And
Well,
then
let's
pretty
see
much
this.
there it is.
Wow, dude, that's dope. Congratulations.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So it's called the Genesis, and
Yeah, we just called it. I
is a
mean,
throwback
to me,
tribute
it's
to that
still the
Guy Mariano
Gamma,
shoe.
or you know what I mean, God shoe,
Right.
but we just had to give it another name because he's got different movements, and at the same time, you know what I mean.
Right.
Wouldn't want to conflict of interest or disrespect him in any kind of way. You know what I mean. And it's dope because we got him numbered. You know what I mean. It's 0 to 1998, which is 1998, when the year that I started it. You know what I mean.
When you started it.
So it's been lovely.
So I'm assuming that you and Guy, your relationship is just fine, and there's no sort of issue there with regard to you bringing back the Genesis or anything.
No, I mean, it's to me, it's all in understanding that it's something that we develop under action. Me and Gammo, you know what I mean, came up with it, and at the same time, it's still paying homage to him. You know what I mean? So
right.
I mean, if you think about it, how many people have ripped off everything that I've had?
Right.
I mean, it's like you
even
like,
saying Virgil, like.
Huh?
I remember we were having a conversation, and even Virgil kind of took a KC design before. What was that one?
Yeah, the KC 2000, the Louis Vuitton one. Yeah, they got that. You know what I mean? They took it with,
right.
You know what I mean? So it's but at the end of the day, it's just design, aesthetics, and everything. But I wanted to bring something out that was original. You know what I mean?
Right. But the saying has become like everything's a remix. There's really nothing exactly completely original. Everything's a remix of the things.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? At this point, and even if you think about it, even to the point of like rap lyrics or whatever, like you're not stealing someone's rap lyrics if you repeat it again. You know what I mean? You're just sort of paying homage. You're giving a big up or whatever. So this is a big up to Guy Mariano.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that era that you guys excelled in. So I mean, there's always going to be those little gossipy shit stirrers out there that
I don't even
try
worry
to create
about
drama.
That ain't me.
I know you don't. But I know the internet is full of little hoes.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
I got. That. Oh, here, I'm gonna show you another sneak peek.
Please.
Just stopping.
Oh.
It ain't just stopping.
Nice. So that's the Genesis and like the Raiders looking kind of color, or what?
The suede, black suede with 3M reflective. So as you push down the street, you're gonna be spotted.
Right.
But I got
So what about your shoe though? I mean, what do you?
I'm designing a completely new shoe that's gonna be the new 2021, like next level. It's been a while, so it's like, I mean, I wouldn't do a reissue off the gate. You know what I mean? That's like keeping us. I want to deliver what no one's been able to do right now. You know what I mean?
Oh wow. Okay.
Gotta still set them trends. You know what I mean? It's been a while. They, they going in circles. They don't know what to do. I'm gonna give them a little jump start. You know what I mean?
Look at that smile on your face.
Oh yeah. We're winning.
Well, I love to see this, man. I love to see you so energized. I can see the creative energy just jumping up out of you. Oh, whoa. So that's more of like a boat shoe style, the more low key slip on vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're trying to deliver them. They're coming. We got more colorways that's coming in, but I'm just giving y'all a little sneak peek. You want to see?
Well, just remember size 12 over here.
Oh, I
size
got
12.
I mean, I'm coming with all different type of things. You know what I mean?
You got the trinkets, all kind of trinkets, man.
Keys, so you know exactly how to get in the house and what key is key. Yeah, it's like the key to success,
Well, I mean, I think it's such a beautiful thing. It's synchronistic. It's right on time, because when we asked the fans what they wanted to talk about, this is what they wanted to talk about. They didn't know that we're going to have a modern day version to talk about. They thought we were only going to be talking about, the legacy.
History, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Which I'm guessing you're going to have a few, pull a couple rabbits out of the hat when it comes to certain key players from the past maybe popping up here and there.
Hey, just trust me. All I could do is say, watch and see. I'm something. It's so crazy because it's been such a while that I'm so ready. You know what I mean? The gloves are off. Everybody could get it right now. You know what I mean? So the game is on.
Look at that smile, man. I can tell that's the look of somebody who feels like, you know, success
Oh,
is there. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's so insane, and it's like, and just to get back to it, it's like,
Yeah.
I look forward to getting back to doing the Ghetto Bird show. So, you know what I mean? We could be able to deliver content constantly to them. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
So, because I know everybody asks me questions on social media, and I'm like, let's go to the Ghetto
Yeah.
Bird show, drop a comment. I
Yeah.
mean, we'll try to answer, you know, as
Well,
much.
let's address that really quick, because here's the thing is that we were on a schedule to be much more regular and to be somewhat bi-weekly and just kind of get it going. But then, you know, it swung into this fall season. We got very busy at Four Down with dealing with the pandemic and springing into action. You got busy. You had the video game coming out. You had to fly East Coast, West Coast, all over the place, do all this stuff. Meanwhile, you're jumping off Action. I know you're doing stuff with City Stars. It's a whole new world, super busy. So this is our first Zoom. Like, this is our first.
Yeah, and
Zoom,
we're gonna have to start, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm a designated time frame, and we're just gonna have to connect, and we're gonna just stay on tune, you know what I mean? And definitely, you know, I've been pretty much just communicating with everybody. Everyone's already hit me, and yes, we were going to be having many guests. I know Atiba, Jefferson is for one, because, you know, we're not going to just keep it all just skate normal heads. You know, we want the industry, we want everything, you know, and like before, you know, we said we want to start bringing in some of the elements from people that do art and music.
Yeah, actors, performers, entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah,
I mean, skaters.
If you're making moves,
skate life gets involved with everything, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about creative energy that takes a lot of different forms, and you know, everything's fair game, right? But we're not. And okay, so one last thing, then, this is another question to ask. I mean, is actually going to be like a hardcore skate brand, or is it more of a lifestyle brand where skating is sort of in the center of it, but obviously skating involves music and fashion?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be exactly kind of how before when I did Action, it will the core of it is a skate brand. You know, like if you look, you think about Vans, they think of skate. So, but at the same time, Vans goes all over the world. And that's pretty much what Action is, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we come from skate, but there's so many different backgrounds and different people and personalities and everything that we're going to deliver all of it, you know what I mean? So, but still making all the product functionable for skate, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, beautiful. So we got that to look forward to, and we got I know you've got a handful of your friends that are going to be coming on soon. So we're going to have to figure out. Right now we got the double Zoom going on. We're going to have to figure out the triple Zoom here pretty soon, and maybe even God only knows. A little Brady Bunch action. God only knows who's going to be on. But I mean, I'm personally really excited, Rune, because I look forward to talking to you with these legendary other figures that happen to be your just everyday friends.
Okay, but who would you say your top three that you want to go after?
Oh, me? Shoot. Oh, man. Well, first of all, Atiba. I would love to talk to Atiba for so many reasons, because you guys have a history, and also because he's been able to twist off this skate thing that we're talking about and get into sports, get into movies, get into all those other elements, but you're doing it as a skater. So I love that personally. You know, that's a lot of us can relate to that sort of a path. Not all of us can be all-star skaters like you. And for instance, I don't know, I would love to have Guy Mariano on, right?
Yes.
Let's have Guy Mariano on. I would love to have Tiago on, and if we needed a translator, we can holler at Tulio and all the boys in Brazil.
Yeah, we definitely.
I mean, there's just so many. I mean, there's just so many, and there's so many, man, just creatively gifted and inspiring people out there that both you and I are friends with, you know, musicians, actors, entrepreneurs, like I said, men and women, right? So many people creating. There's so many people that I'm working with and Crum's working with from the perspective of doing this philanthropic stuff, right? So people that are helping figure out how to solve problems in this world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to just doing all of that. But first things first, I feel like we should, you know, our first guest being Tony Hawk, we kind of set the standard. And I feel like after that, we have to be careful and bring on high level folks. So whether they're the top skaters, again, I would love to see Atiba, Guy Mariano, the list goes on, Jamie Thomas. I mean,
Jamie, like Na-Kel,
Muska,
Chaz Ortiz. I mean, Muska. I mean,
your little cousin Na-Kel for sure, because again, he's also that skater and now that movie star and that musician. So I love that, right? I love it. that wide variety of creative energy. That's really something personally I'm looking forward to. Plus, I want to hear those inside stories, man.
Yeah.
I want to know what it was like when you and these guys. I mean, I think
everyone's gonna say
to
I'm nutso, but you know what I mean. They nutso too. They nutso for even being with me.
Reem, I don't think we've ever met a normal person. If you ever find one, please let me know, okay? I've never related to anyone.
So brother, how's it over there at the cabin up there?
Man, I mean, it's peaceful, and we're just ducking out for this Civil War 2.0, man. I'm just trying to duck out and watch out what happens. I mean, as of this morning, I think we just heard across the wire that it looks like Pennsylvania and Georgia and a couple others went the way of the D's. So it looks like the R's on the way out, and the D's are on the way in. And I'm ready for the dust to settle on a lot of this, and let's get back to just being decent human beings together. Right, and just treat each other with some decency and some love, and solve some problems. That's really where I'm at.
And focus on getting this COVID clear so everyone can really cherish those moments of actually. Like, it's so funny. I look at it once this is over, people are gonna really want to now interact. It's not gonna always just be social media or text or whatever. It's gonna be like, hey, pull up. Where you been? It's been a while. You know what I mean? So I think it's gonna bring a lot together. It
is, and but for now, we can sit here on these Zooms, and a lot of other people can connect in these kind of ways. So let's take advantage of the technology that we have, so that our humanity can stay connected through the technology, right? I mean, these are tools that we should be using to cultivate our humanity, not make us less human, right? Which I think the internet can bring that worst out in us, when really these very same tools can bring out a better connection and a better understanding. If we choose to use them that way. So I hope that we set the standard for that, right? Like, we do make some jokes and make some fun, but at the end of the day, those out there that see things differently politically and other ways, man, we all got to be here and get along and have a good time together. Let's get back to, maybe we don't agree about everything, but we can all get along and
we got to agree to disagree.
Yes. That's what it is. And we can go skate. Let's go skate together. Let's go have some food together. Let's get back to life together. So, brother, I miss you, and I can't wait to
I miss you too, man. Soon. It's been a minute, but it ain't gonna promise you. We're gonna start getting back on this every other week.
Right.
And now we're doing Zoom. You know what I mean? My backgrounds might change. This isn't no virtual, but as I'm moving, Ghetto Bird will be moving with us. You know what I mean?
Oh man. All right, bro. That whirling eye in the sky. Only you, Reem. Only you. Man, I love you, man. We'll see you soon,
too, brother.
Okay?
All right. Peace.
Later.